Hi, I'm Emma, and I am autistic. I was diagnosed when I was 47, and I've got to say it was a bit of a shock, because until then I just thought I was a bit odd, to be fair. Over 1 in 100 people are autistic, so the chances are there may be 1 or 2 people in this room who are autistic. We are talking about 700,000 people in the UK with autism. So we may have people in the room who have a diagnosis of autism, maybe on one of those long waiting lists, waiting for an assessment for autism, or maybe, like I was, don't realise that autism is the explanation for their social clunkiness, for the fact that they don't feel like they quite fit in, just feeling a little bit different. You don't look autistic. I don't actually know what that means. What does autism look like? Would you feel more comfortable if I did a bit of that, or a bit of ticker jumping, or recited a load of amazing facts? Autism doesn't look like anything for a lot of people. You can't see it. It isn't something you can just say, that's autism. I camouflage. I mask constantly, every single day. I am camouflaging. I am pretending to be neurotypical. And what I'm hoping today that I can do is just let you see some of the invisible stuff that's going on, so that over time autistic people don't need to camouflage their way completely into the neurotypical world, but maybe we can meet halfway. First thing I want to say is I'm really bad at hints and reading body language, so please say what you mean. Okay, don't hint, because I won't get it. And I'm going to give you some examples, and I want you to hold in mind that I'm autistic. I have got 3 autistic children. I'm the lead clinical psychologist for a service that diagnoses autism. I've even got a chapter in the book on autism. However, it took me a long time to realise what I was doing wrong here. So my autistic son needs to get up quite early in the morning, and I would be saying, your breakfast is ready. No response, and 5 minutes later I'm thinking, where is he? What I was doing was providing him with a statement of fact. Your breakfast is ready. What I was hinting at was, get your backside downstairs, you need to hurry up. But I wasn't saying it, I was hinting. So he was sitting up there going, great, my breakfast is ready. Fast forward, when I had my little epiphany, come downstairs, your breakfast is ready. Instant response, okay, just get my socks on, get my stuff together, I'll be there in a minute. He responded because he knew what I meant. Okay, he's nearly 13, so no miracle happened. He's not racing down and appearing, to be fair. But at least I understood, and he understood what we were both getting at on that one. Another example, my husband will say to me, going to the shops on the way home. That's fantastic. He's notifying me about a change in the day, so I'm going into sort of recalibration mode. Things are going to be different. He's going to be home late. Click, click, click. Let's sort that out. He comes home and he displays his trophies of his shopping trip on the counter. And I'm looking at them and I go, do you get bananas? And he'll say, you didn't ask me to get bananas. And I will say, well, I didn't know I needed to tell you what we needed. And he will say, I told you I was going shopping. I'm going to the shops on the way home. What do you need me to get? Say what you mean. Appointments, conversations, meetings, please tell me when we're finished, because I won't read the body language. I won't know that we're actually done. I will really struggle with that. No end of times I've been in an appointment with a doctor or nurse and they've turned and they've started tapping away on the computer like they do. Now, I have learnt that that body language means they've moved on to something new. But they've not said that to me. So sometimes I've stood up and they go, oh, no, sit down, we haven't finished. Okay, great. Sometimes I've sat there in awkward silence and they look at me like, are you still here? It's time to go. If you're doing an appointment with an autistic person, let them know when it's done, let them know what's going to happen next. Don't hint, don't rely on body language, say what you mean. Another thing, I am not very good at surprises. I am not a spontaneous kind of person. If you are going to make a change to anything, please let me know. Give me as much warning as possible, the more the better. I know in the real world things do change. That's fine, I get that. I know that some changes are last minute, and I will manage that. But I've been into Teams meetings and I've sat there and no one's shown up. And I'm trying not to take it personally. But what I will get later on is, oh, I'm ever so sorry, I was on annual leave, I forgot to tell you. Or there was another thing going on, I had another meeting I had to go on. If you know that you can't keep the plans in advance, please tell me. Because what happens when there's a change, I am completely floored. It's like my brain shuts down and I cannot work out what to do next. You won't realise what I've done to prepare for that meeting. I would have been scripting, planning, I would have been thinking about every possibility, how that meeting's going to run, who's going to say what, who's going to ask what I have to do. Even to the point of introducing myself, I know my name, I know where I work, but that does not stop me scripting that. As soon as somebody says, let's do some introductions, I'm scripting, I'm overthinking. I've even put it on a little post-it on my filing cabinet so I can read it, so I don't have to try and say it out loud. It's painful and it's exhausting. If I'm coming to an appointment and it's running late, tell me. And be truthful. Don't tell me it's going to be 5 minutes late when it's actually going to be 15 minutes late, because as soon as I see that 5 minutes have passed, my anxiety will lift and I will start to worry. And I'll be thinking, they said 5 minutes. 5 minutes to me means 5 minutes. So if it's going to be 15 minutes late, please tell me that it will be 15 minutes. Because then if I am in a room which is too peoply, too bright, too noisy, I can go and find somewhere quieter to decompress, and I know how long I've got before I need to be back in the building. So please be honest and let me know if something's changed. My Outlook diary is a wonder to behold. It is colour-coded. Everything I do is in that diary. It is there, timetabled and everything. And this is a strategy for me, because when those changes do happen, I can look in my Outlook diary because my admin tasks are there and I can see what I need to do. So I don't have to be completely floored by the change. And I can have a quick look and, oh, this needs to be done. And when I've done it, I will put done next to it, because I overthink things so much. Sometimes I'm not sure if I've actually done it or not. I don't know if I've just thought it and it's been done so many times. I'm sometimes not sure whether it's real or not. So to actually have that there, it's a strategy that I use. Change makes my head hurt. It floors me. And if you change your hair, please do not be offended by the look on my face. Your hair looks absolutely beautiful. It's just me processing that there's been a change. What I'm describing applies to so many of those 700,000 people with autism in this country. I found out I was autistic in my late 40s, and it was mind-blowing. It explained so much of my life. Suddenly, so much made sense. I realised I wasn't incompetent, incapable, unlikable. I realised I was aughty, not naughty. I wasn't a bad person, but what was happening was I am processing in an autistic way, and I'm trying to do that in a neurotypically processing way, where people are expecting me to process in a neurotypical way. I have to do that consciously. I have learned how to do that. I have to have a constant dialogue going on inside my head to keep on top of that. And it is hard work. But what I have learned from my diagnosis is that I can be kind to myself. I can unmask a little bit. I don't need to be that self-critical of myself. I've had loads of aha moments when I've suddenly realised, oh, that's my autism. That is my superpower. It's been brilliant to actually realise that. I see numbers as shapes. I'm amazing with a flat pack. I can play the piano by patterns. And I discovered that a lot of you lot don't do that. How dull. Oh my goodness. Having my diagnosis has helped me to understand myself so much better. And I just hope with this little window of time that we've had today, that you too can understand me just a little bit more as well. Thank you.